Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome back to Harry's Highlights. On this video, we're going to talk about the book Pull Your Finger Out. Now this is all about basically the 101 principles for effective transformation. So what the author talks about here is basically it's a guidebook. It's not a front to back sort of book. It's something that you can go to any chapter, almost any page, and find information that's going to be relevant to you. So it's basically compiled a bunch of or a group of different principles that you can apply to your everyday life that'll help you to have long-lasting change. He calls it basically lasting transformation. You know, it's about changing from the inside out. Things that not like these superficial changes, and not these just changes that other people are just going to notice for a day, for a week. Long-lasting changes that are basically changing your attitude, your behavior, your thought process, the way you look at the world, not just the way you look at situations temporarily. It's about understanding how to become the best version of yourself. Ultimately, how to be happy. So some of the things I want to talk about in this one is about understanding some of the principles he talks about in this book. About, for example, what success demands. Unfortunately, not a lot of people are prepared to do what's required for long enough. See, many of people they're willing to do the things that success asks of you or demands of you for a period of time. But unfortunately, not many people are prepared to do it for long enough. See, a lot of people can do it for the first day, the first week, maybe even the first month. But I don't think past that, when it really takes a paradigm shift, a complete subscription to a change, not just something that's going to do for a period of time where it's I tried it out like a hobby. It's a fundamental shift. Not a lot of people are prepared to do that for long enough to be able to experience success. It's that great saying, you've got to give yourself enough time to succeed. Too many people stop after 4 or 5 weeks and say, well, I'll give it a good crack. When it's not about that. It's about doing it for long enough that you're required to do. See, and that could be different. Some people might only need to do it for 3 weeks. Some people need to do it for 7, 8. See, it's understanding that you've also got to have the willingness to get uncomfortable for long enough. See, some people go I'll do anything. Whatever it is, you tell me, I'll do it. Unfortunately, there's so much uncomfortableness in it that some people just can't maintain it for long enough. Because it's about being in you never really get used to it. You basically get used to being uncomfortable, but you have to be prepared to be uncomfortable each and every day. So most people basically want that easy and comfortable, despite wanting that long-term desire for change. Despite for almost all their life they've always wanted to be better or do more, reach their full potential, explore their ideal, their full capacity. But unfortunately, what's required to do that is too uncomfortable or beyond what they're prepared to do. It's to climb the highest mountains, you've got to be prepared to climb it all the way. You've got to be prepared to put in all the steps, put in the amount of effort that's needed to make that happen. To explore the deepest depths of the ocean, you have to be prepared to go into deep, dark, cold and uncomfortable, extreme amounts of pressure. But that's what's required to get there. Too many people want to just wade in halfway, basically chest deep and say I just want to this is as far as I want to go, but still expect to have the same results as if you'd went to the deepest, darkest depths of the ocean. When that doesn't work, you need to not only go down there, you need to go down there for long enough. So many people go, yep, I'll just go down there, touch the bottom and come back. It's about more than that. It's about being able to experience it and be in that environment for long enough that you change. And it's the same as with, other examples of that, understanding that so many people, for example, they've been circling success for years. If they're climbing the mountain of success, they get, a third of the way, halfway, they're sort of they know where the peak is, they know where the top is, they know what they need to do, but they're just hanging around midway. They're sort of just flirting with the line, talking about, I'm gonna climb to the top one day, I'm gonna get there, and they're there for years, still waiting, still trying to find that shortcut, trying to find out what they need to do, and then getting grumpy at the people that give them the uncomfortable truth. See, there's a great saying, so many people are looking for the sign that says for the shortcut, through the mountain when the sign says climb here. And too many people don't like that. They go, no, there's got to be some other way. There's got to be some shortcut that's going to get me through it. It's like, no. If you want to get to the top of the mountain, you have to start climbing. And then people get grumpy or frustrated or disappointed or even angry that it's like, no, I'm telling you that there's definitely a shortcut. There's an easy way to make this happen. There's some way that other people have done it that I'm just missing. And it's like, no, they haven't. You want to get to the top of the mountain, you need to start climbing. One foot in front of the other. But people don't like that. But it's about understanding that's the uncomfortable truth. And really, you've got to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to get the job done? And understand that too many people just can't grasp that. It's like they want it, but just not quite want it enough. They're not ready. They lack the necessary desire or commitment and application to make it happen. Unfortunately, they might really, really want it. And they might be committed, for a certain amount of time. But the application of wait, so I've got to do this for, weeks, months on end. I do really want it, and I am prepared to be that committed, but to apply it for that long is just too long for me to make it happen. So unfortunately, they hang around the middle. Just above the base, but still not at the top. And that's what it talks about in the book, is about understanding that words aren't actions. You've got to understand that there's a theory of change and there's the reality of change. There's plenty of people can talk about, yeah, but I could definitely do that if I wanted to. If I decide to, I will climb to the top of the mountain. And it's like, well, okay, but that's not action. You're just talking about it. And there's plenty of people that go when the time's right, I'm going to change. I'm going to make all these changes. I'm going to be great. I'm going to reach my full potential. I'm going to discover everything that my full purpose in life. And again, that's just words. It's not action. That's that theory, where the reality of change is you're not there yet. And you haven't started it. You've just spoke about it. And it's about understanding that there's so much that you're missing out on because you're not prepared to take the steps necessary to make it happen. It's like that top of the mountain is an amazing view that anybody can see. The only thing is that it demands is that you walk up it. You've got to walk one step in front of the other. The thing is that amount of time or that distance or that effort and energy is beyond some people. It's more than what they're prepared to do. They're happy with that. Well, I've climbed this far up the mountain. This is good enough. And it's like, okay, well then you'll have a good enough view. You'll only have that. You'll never experience what the top is like. You'll never experience were you capable of getting to the top? Were you able to reach your full potential? Which is, how do you know what the best is like if you've never ever experienced it? And what it talks about in this book is about that understanding that to get to that level, you've got to start changing from the inside. To get to halfway, you could basically do with brute force. To get the second half, that requires a mental shift. That requires an internal change in yourself where you need to decide, I will until. Basically, you're making the decision, you're murdering all other options, and you are going to continue until you reach the top. Even when things get hard, even as oxygen begins to thin, even as the weather changes and things become colder, you will until. You will mentally prepare yourself that no matter, this is the second part of the trip where it's going to be way harder. It's not just the physical. I've worked out I can climb it because it's just, I've already done half. I'm just going to do another half. But this half is where everything is where I really test it. Everything is where it's become such a mental test and where you'll basically really push you to your limits. But at the top of it, you experience the achievement of success, of the view, of knowing that this is what you deserve. This is the pursuit of your full potential. So I guess to quickly summarize on all this one, it was about understanding that it's 101 principles for effective transformation. So some of the principles or fundamentals in this was about lasting transformation, changing from the inside out, understanding how to become the best version of yourself, and basically to be happy. It talked about that success demands certain things from you, but most people are not prepared to go through what's required for long enough. It's about the willingness to get uncomfortable for a period of time that's sometimes beyond what most people are prepared to do. See, because most people want the easy and comfortable, despite wanting that, they have that desire for change, like long term. It's about, like, for years now they've been circling success while still waiting, for that shortcut or that magic pill or some other way that's going to get it other than the uncomfortable truth. It's about, you've got to recognize, how bad do you want it? Are you prepared to get the job done? Are you prepared to take what's necessary to make it happen, despite, having the lack of commitment, the lack of application? You have to overcome all of those things to make it happen. Understand that words aren't actions, that there's a theory of change and there's the reality of change. And you have to be committed to the reality of change and not just talk about it. And if you can embody all of those things, if you can take those on board, you'll have, 101 principles for effective transformation. Now I'll be making a lot more of these videos for this training series to help you with your personal development goals. That's all for now though. So until next time, leave a comment below on what you like the most and look forward to sharing more with you in the next episode